Hey everybody, we're continuing our series on rhythm patterns, and today we're talking about our 5-note rhythm pattern, and we're going to play that over our 4th chord progression. So with these, we always start with the major scale because that's kind of the foundation for how all these chord progressions are played. And we're doing this in the key of C. So the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then we use the number system that goes over these notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And then we use that major scale to apply chords to it. So our 1 chord is a C. The 2nd chord is a D minor. 3rd chord is a slash chord. So that's 1 over 3, or a C over an E bass. Our 4th chord is an F. Our 5th chord is a G. Our 6th chord is an A minor. And then our 7th chord is another slash chord. That's a G over B, or 5 over 7. And then our last chord's a 1. So it sounds like this. But the problem with playing it like that is it doesn't sound very good. So that's the reason why we came up with these 5 different chord progressions, to basically play that major scale chord progression, but just in a slightly different way to make it sound smoother and sound a little bit better. So this 4th chord progression, we play it like this. Have you ever wanted to learn how to play your favorite worship songs on piano? Well, I have something that's perfect for you. It's called Worship Piano Academy. It's an online space to help people of all skill levels learn to play worship piano exactly like the pros do. It's packed full of simple techniques that are easy to follow and tailored specifically for worship piano players. If you're brand new to piano, we have all the basic lessons to get you on track. If you've been playing for a while, we have tons of advanced lessons and tips for you too. So check out worshippianoacademy.com. So our C is played like that with octave Cs and the 5th note, and we don't play the 3rd note. And then our 2 minor, we actually play that as a 1 sus4 with octave Cs over that D bass. Our 3rd chord is a 1 over 3, so we play that as C over E, again with the octave Cs. Our 4th chord is a C sus4 over an F, so here's your C4, octave Cs over the F bass. Our 5 chord is a G sus4, so here's your G. We add the 4, and again, you get that with the G major scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we add that to the G chord. And then our 6 minor, we actually play that as a C over A. And then our 7th chord, that's a G sus4 over a B, or a 5 over 7. And then we end on the 1. So if we play that together. Just like that. And so the rhythm pattern that we're using over that progression, we're using 16th notes. And so you start with quarter notes. That's kind of your baseline for rhythm pattern. So quarter note means there's 4 quarter notes inside a measure of music, and you count it 1, 2, 3, 4. An 8th note would be double that rhythm. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then a 16th note would be double that. So it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And so that's how we're playing this 5-note rhythm pattern. And how that works is, let's start with the left hand because the left hand's a little bit more confusing, like we talked about in the first couple lessons. So as your bass note walks up this progression, you're using your 2nd finger to play the 5th note of the next chord that you're playing. So if you're going into a C, it'd be the 5th note of the C, and then you play the C bass. And then the next chord would be a D, so the 5th note of that D. And then the only caveat with playing the 5th note is when you get to your slash chords, which is your 1 over 3 and your 5 over 7, your 2nd finger has to jump up a little bit to play that slash chord. So a 1 over 3 is a C over an E. So really you're playing basically that chord with your left hand. So it's the C with your 2nd finger and then the bass note. And then same thing with your 5 over 7, it's a G over B, so you're playing the G over the B. But every other chord other than that 1 over 3 and 5 over 7 is the 5th note of the chord that you're going into. So it's C, 5th note of D, here's your slash chord, which you change it, and then your 4, your 5, your 6 minor, your 5 over 7 is a slash, so you bring that 2nd finger up, and then your 1. And so if you play it with these chords, and you end it like that. And then with the right hand, you're always going to be playing the top and the bottom note of the chord that you're playing. So if you're playing a C, it's the top and bottom. C sus4, top and bottom. G sus4, top and bottom. So always the top and bottom in your right hand. And so the way that works is it's 5 notes, and it's going to be on the 4, E, and going onto the 1 beat where you play that chord. So it would be like this. 2, 3, 4, E, and into the next chord. 2, 3, 4, E, and remember the 1/3, so you bring your second finger up to play that slash chord. 2, 3, 4, E, and 1, 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 2, 3, 4, E, and 1. And so if we play that with the rhythm, it'd sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. So now let's try playing this chord progression where there's chord changes on the 1 and the 3 beat. So our rhythm pattern is going to be a 2 E and then a 4 E and So it'll sound like this. Let's walk down. Just like that. And now let's try playing it where we have a chord change on the 1 beat, and then let's add rhythm patterns. So quarter notes with our right hand, we're going to hit on the 2 and the 3 beat. And then on the 4, it'll be a 4 E and for that rhythm pattern going into the next chord change on the 1 beat. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4 E and 1. Walk down. Just like that. And now it's important too to not just play this progression and this rhythm pattern as you walk up and down the major scale, because when you're playing songs, they don't follow that progression. They play chords that are inside this major scale chord progression. And so it's good to just pick a pattern. So say we're going to do 4, 1, 5, 6. So here's your 4, here's your 1, here's your 5, and here's your 6. And then apply that rhythm pattern over those chord changes. So it'd sound like this. We can change up the chords. Like that. And after you practice that, if you're having any trouble with the rhythm patterns combining your right and left hand, just slow it down a little bit and then play to a metronome. So slow that metronome down as slow as you need to really get that pattern so that you're playing right on those 16th note rhythm patterns. Because as you speed it up, and if you're not right on that click, it's going to sound muddy and it's not going to sound good. So it's important to just really focus on getting that rhythm right on the metronome. and speed it up as quick as you can and see how fast you can move through that progression. And then once you get comfortable with that, playing in the key of C, then you can jump to other keys and practice in those keys. So once you get a progression down or a rhythm pattern down, it's always important to practice in all the 12 keys, because that'll just really help your playing style and build finger strength as you're moving between those other keys. So let's do that. Let's start in C, and then we'll go ahead and move through these other 12 keys. D, and then E, and then F, G, and then A, we'll move down here. And then B. And now let's do the sharps and flats. So C sharp, and then E flat, and then F sharp, and then A flat, we'll move down here. And then B flat. And that's it. So work on that, and then I'll see you in the next lesson.